There's something that I come to understand recently that has shifted everything for me. And it's something I wanted to share with you, not as a coach, not as a creator, but simply as a person who's lived through this and felt the weight of it for a long time. For years, I found myself repeating the same prayer over and over and over again, asking for strength, asking for the ability to keep going, asking for the resilience in pushing through whatever life placed in front of me. And I believe that asking for strength made me powerful, that made me resilient, and that it was the reason I was able to endure so much in my life. But what I did not realize at the time was that every time I asked for strength, I was also asking for more situations that required me to be stronger, more challenges that demanded I fight even harder, and more circumstances that placed me in a position where I had to survive rather than simply live. Because life does not respond to what we think we want. It responds to the energy we are holding. So when you are constantly speaking from a place of struggle, from a place of pressure, and from a place of survival, life meets you right there and gives you more of the same thing that's going on in your life. And there came a moment where I felt tired in a way that went beyond the physical exhaustion because I was tired of consistently having to prove my strength, tired of always having to push, and tired of feeling like everything in my life required effort. And in that moment, something shifted within me because instead of asking for more strength, I started asking for something different. I asked for ease. I asked to be shown what life could feel like without constant struggle, without constant pressure, and without the need to fight for everything. I asked to experience life in a way that felt soft, aligned, and natural instead of forced. And almost immediately, things began to change in a way that I did not expect. The things I've been holding on to, the job I had been forcing, the relationship I have been trying to make work, and the identity I had built around those things all began to fall away. And I'll be honest with you, it felt disorientated because when everything around you just begin to shift very quickly, there is a part of you that feels like you're losing control. But at the same time, there are other parts of me that felt deep, a deep sense of knowing. Something inside me was finally aligning with a version of the life that I had not allowed myself to step into before. So I look back now and I understand. I understand that what I experienced was a shift in frequency, a shift in the way I was relating to my life, and a shift in the way I was asking for what I wanted. Because I went from asking for strength, which kept me in a survival mode, to asking for ease, which allowed me to move into receiving. And that change in itself altered everything. It made me realize that words are not just words because they carry energy, they carry intention, and they act as an instruction that shape the reality we are experiencing right now. Are you asking from lack, or are you asking from a place of knowing that what you desire is already available to you? Because that is where the real shift happens. Most people do not realize that the words they speak, especially the words they repeat over and over again in the moment of vulnerability, becomes a pattern that shapes their experiences, their life, and where they currently are. So when you say, make me strong, you are unconsciously inviting situation that requires you to push, to endure, and to carry extra weight. When you speak from fear, your life reflects more situation that mirrors that fear. And when you try to control everything, the natural flow of life begins to disappear. So I started to speak differently. I started asking for alignment instead of struggle, for ease instead of pressure, and for grace instead of constant resistance. And over time, my reality began to reflect that shift, even though I will be honest to say that it didn't feel natural at first, because when you have spent so much of your life in survival mode, peace can feel unfamiliar and ease can feel uncomfortable. There was a part of me that still wanted to go back to what I knew, because struggle has become more familiar in my life. And in a strange way, it had become comfortable. But I also knew that I had to ask for something different for my life to change. And if that meant I had to allow myself the time to adjust to a new way of being, then that was what I had to do over time. And this is where awareness becomes important, because you have to recognize the difference between returning to something because it feels familiar and staying aligned with what you truly asked for. So if you're in a place right now where things are shifting, where things are falling away, where life feels difficult in a way that you cannot fully understand or explain, I want you to consider something. Maybe this is not chaos. Maybe this is clarity, because you cannot carry the same weight into a life that is meant to be lighter. So sometimes things have to fall away, not to hurt you, but to allow you to experience something different. And I want to leave you with this, not as a warning, but as an invitation to become more aware of the way you speak and the way you ask for things and the energy you are holding. Because your words are powerful. Your prayers are not just hopes. They are portals. And your energy is always shaping what you attract into your life. And the moment you begin to believe that, the moment you allow yourself to settle into the truth, everything begins to change in a way that feels natural, aligned, and real. Now, if this has landed not just in your mind, but in your body and your heart, then I want you to sit with it for a moment, because this is not something to rush past. This is something for you to feel, to understand, and to allow you to unfold within you, because you are not alone in this shift and you are exactly where you need to be. My name is Estella. This is Redefine Her World, where we grow together, we heal together, we redefine our lives one step at a time. Now, this is a 7-part series, so don't forget to come back and see me here again tomorrow. Know that I love you all. Thank you for showing up. Bye.